want to welcome you to my latest exciting episode of Pens in Use. This week, I totally skipped last week. I was just busy. I just forgot one because I just filmed a review of it. So I've reduced the selection a little bit, but and some have changed out. This is I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. I should know this one. Kaweco Sport. Wow. An F. Salvatore or something. An F. Salvatore or something. These are both pens that I am evaluating. I may have mentioned that before for a company, so I will be sending them back when I'm done. This is an Aurora 88. This is a Platignum Studio, I think. This was actually sent to me by a pen pal. I have never used a Platignum pen in my life, so that's been interesting. Wingsung 698, Jinhao 992. I had several other Chinese pens inked up 2 weeks ago, but they're out of ink. These two are not, so yeah. A Picasso, something or other, black metal pen, something like that. I'll actually know its name when I review it. Noodler's Konrad with a goulet nib. This was restored. You saw this in a previous Pens in Use. I had to chip the sack out of it, but this is a Schaeffer. I wrote down its name and I totally forgot what it was. I'm sorry. I'm not. Schaeffer is kind of a brand I've not really studied much. I will put the name down there. So Schaeffer, whatever it is, I restored. I couldn't do much about these chewing or whatever they are at the ends. So we'll just have to live with it. It's a striated carmine or something like that. I wrote all these details down, but they're over there. Japanese Craftsman Pen. I'll talk more about that. And then this is a Schneider ID, which by the time you see this Pens in Use, you've seen the review. So as always, I will record this in the Bomo Art Journal. It's a nice. I've got a review of this coming. I haven't filmed it yet, but I will soon. I also hope this week to upload the black ink review. I'm trying out a couple of things. You may have seen hints of it in my sketch notes video to do a better job with the black ink review. Alright, so since it's summer, I'm wearing a lot of shirts like this with no pocket, so I have my Kaweco Sport inked up as my daily writer. Oh, a little bit of a hard start there, but I don't know if that was my... Oh, wow. Today is June, let's see, 10th, 17th, 24th? I think so. Let me just double check on the computer. No, 23rd. I apologize for that profusely. I forgot that last time I did one of these, it was a Saturday because I was delayed. So this is a Kaweco Sport. It's a fine point. And I won't tell you what ink I'm using, just that it's black, because it is inked up with the winter. So stay tuned for my ink review coming up this week. Next, this F. Salvatore. It's striking. I don't care for metal pens, and it's pretty much shaped like a Jinhao 450 or 750. It's heavy. It does have a plastic grip, which is a nice touch. I do like the colors. That's nice. So this is a F. Salvatore. I am actually unclear what their names even are. Their names are so oddly done. So we'll just call it the metal pen, even though they're all metal. I don't know a nib size. There's none written on the nib. But it looks to me like a fine or a medium. The ink is KWZ green gold. The pen is okay as a writer. It's nothing amazing, but it does the job. My biggest thing is it just seems to be a little dry, but sometimes people go for that. This is another F. Salvatore. This one's got a concave barrel, kind of like, is it the Parker Urban It's a pen I don't want. Anyway, F. Salvatore. We'll just call it the red one. The ink is Kyonuto. I totally forgot. The pink one. Kyonuto Ima Yo Iro. And I was told by a viewer that Iro means color, so that makes sense. It's not quite a hot pink, but it's a very bright pink. And you might have noticed behind me here, I have changed things out a little. That pen actually is a better writer than the metal one, but it's a very fine writer and a little scratchy. So look for a review of them coming up soon so I can get those sent back. This is an Aurora 88. I don't know the nib, but whatever the color coding is, which I'd love for somebody to find, it's black. So it's an Aurora 88 and it's full of Sailor, Gentle, Ultramarine, which is a nice dark blue. And of course I always love my Aurora pens. This one has the Nic Argenta alloy. Let's see, this is the one sent by a pen pal, Platignum Studio. I never did figure out what size the nib is. And there you can see one of the problems I've run into with it. Hard starts after it sits after that first day. The ink comes out very dark. This ink is not this color. It's a dark violet ink. I think number 15, but I won't swear to that. But it's an Ackerman violet. The pen is actually nice. I've never used a Platignum before. This is another with a slightly rubberized grip. I think it's kind of cool that the clip looks vaguely like a fountain pen nib. Nice looking pen, understated, kind of that aesthetic I like. It just, that hard starting was a bit of a disappointment after that first day of inking it up. This pen, I'm curious. This pen has been sitting for a week, partly why it's still full. I was curious how it would do. So this is a Jinhao. No, I'm sorry, it is a Wing Sung. And as you'll notice, it started right up. So kudos. 698. So after a week of sitting, no problem. This is supposed to be a somewhat flexy nib. So let's see if I can do it while I write the name of the ink. I guess there's some line variation there. But the main thing is, after a week of not being used and just laying on the counter in my kitchen, because I was just going to clean it out, because I had so many pens inked up right then, I thought, no, I'm going to do an experiment. And here's the other one that accompanied it in the experiment. I had one of these inked up, well, let's see, with Diamine Coral, one with Dragon's Napalm. This is the Dragon's Napalm one. I know that without even looking, although I did look to see what the ink was. I know which one this is because I used the eyedropper to fill it. And again, after a week of sitting, no problem starting up. So another pen with a good seal. Now Chris Rapp has a video on his channel about how to seal this plug at the end, which apparently leaks in some pens. Now I see a little ink going around the plug. I haven't had ink, but I got Dragon's Napalm on me somehow today since using that pen. So check out his video if you're concerned about your eyedropper. Eyedroppers always make me nervous. I basically did it to see if I could. I don't like eyedroppers. I just don't trust them. And it's a pain to fill most of them. I have a couple bottles of dropper ink, but mostly I have bottles of ink, and I have to find a syringe or an eyedropper or something. It's like, why bother? So this is a Picasso. When I actually review it, I'll get, which is actually a review that's coming. So whatever it's called, I've done it before, but it's been a while. Probably even further back than that. I didn't care for it. I gotten a little softer on it since then, but it may have been long enough ago it's not even in here. I remember the ink I used in it though. It was that Iroshizuku Chiku Rin. Okay. I will not find it quickly enough to satisfy. Oh, I didn't show you the first page. Nope, I won't find it quickly enough to keep you from getting bored. So we'll just go with it. So it's a Picasso. The ink in it is KWZ, Iron Gall, Violet. I don't recall off the top of my head which number it is, but it doesn't matter. This ink goes on as a very hot pink. Did you see that? No, you didn't. Because the problem with this pen is it doesn't make that great of a seal. I didn't see it when I was using it with the Chiku Rin, but I'm seeing with this Violet, it has oxidized. If I write long enough, you'll start to see the hot pink. But yeah, disappointing. Not a great seal. It's not a bad looking pen. I mean, it's that slim black look I like. I don't know why it's called a Picasso, but you can see Picasso there. There's a neat little emblem on the... you can't see it. So maybe I'll pull out the magnifier at the end of this video and try and show it to you, but maybe I'll save that for the review. Let's see what's left here. Oh yeah. Well, let's do the Noodler's Konrad first, just for giggles and snorts. So Noodler's Konrad, black one. I have it inked up. Alright, so you won't be seeing me again. My camera just ran out of battery, so we'll just go with the not looking at me version. So this is one of the earlier Noodler's Konrads, just in plain black, but I put a Goulet nib in it, the 1.1 millimeter stub. Not bad looking ink. This is actually an ink I didn't really need. I wasn't even planning it to be my black ink, but I purchased a bottle because they're no longer made, and I like the bottles. Omas has some very nice bottles, very multifaceted and attractive. So I bought a bottle of Omas Black. I figured I could use it up like this. You know, I always like to have a stub nib with black. I haven't been doing that so well this year, but I do like to have one. So now that I'm doing more sketch note type stuff, I thought, what the heck? So it's going to be Omas Black for a while till I get bored. Alright, and then my Schneider ID, which I reviewed this week. And discovered in the process of doing the review that the funny little mark on the side of the nib is actually a B for broad. The ink in it is Noodler's Brown. This pen does seem to give a good seal against the air, because if this is exposed to air, this ink starts to oxidize and turn orange, and it hasn't done that yet. So that's a nice pen. And then I get to two sort of interesting ones. This is one I restored. It was sent to me by a pen pal. This is a Schaeffer, and I apologize in advance if I just don't know the Schaeffer world. I did look up what it is, but it hasn't stuck in my memory yet because I haven't repeated it often enough. And I don't have my ink journal over here, so I can't look up what it is, but it is. And look, I mean, that's an attractive finish. Very attractive. So this dates, it's not one of the really old Schaeffers, but it's a, yeah. So I had to resack it. I had to do a lot of cleaning on the nib and in the barrel. This part is actually supposed to be kind of an ink window. There's some, I don't know what, coating on this that I couldn't quite get off that's sort of shiny. But anyway, it's a Schaeffer. So again, in post-processing, I'll put the name of it. And the ink in it is Sailor. Whoops, OR, wow. Gentle. That's an N, not an M. Gentle Grenade. Which is a very attractive dark red, a very attractive dark red, actually. It has a slight green sheen to it. Probably not on this paper. No, I see it. I don't know if you can. Look at the S on Schaeffer. You can sort of see it there. But this paper's a little more absorbent, so you won't see it the best. So that was a freebie, but I was able to restore it. I had to, like I said, chip out the sack and so on. I should lay it there while I'm talking about it, since you can't see my face since the battery died in the other camera. But anyway, I had to chip out the sack. It came out in little chunks. But other than that, a little bit of cleaning and some soaking and a new sack, and we were in business. So I very much like that. So I don't think she watches the channel, but just in case, thank you very much. I did enjoy that. I'm now working on another pen that's in there. So far, I haven't resacked it. I'm still soaking the nib. This is a pen I bought. It was an Etsy store. This is apparently a Japanese craftsman. He made this back in the 50s. You can see that it's translucent. That came as a total surprise to me, because from the description, it was described as stone-like, so I didn't expect it to be translucent at all. Well, that's kind of neat when you have a lever filler pen. So when I review this, I will figure out how to show it to you. But in the meantime, there you can see the top of the spring inside. You can see the ink sac. It's actually a clear ink sac, which is also kind of cool. And you can watch it fill. And it's almost empty. And I found a new ink that I really like, because they included a small bottle of ink with it. So I don't know who the craftsman is. They didn't say. The pen is a little scratchy. Usually the first letter you write after a day is a hard start. So I may try smoothing the nib. I don't know. The ink, it's a hard nib. You'll be able to see that when I put on the magnifier. Japanese craftsman. The ink in it, which I like it a lot. And I never even looked at this ink until I was given a bottle. Pilot Blue Black. Nothing exotic about this ink at all, but wow, is that attractive. At least to my eye. Alright, so I don't want to go ink to ink. I have a couple things on pens to show you. So why don't we just look at some pens? And then I will say goodbye from here, because you can't see me. Doggone it, I should have checked the battery first. That was all my fault. Alright, so on this Japanese Craftsman pen, because that's the one that's here, first of all, that is such an attractive finish. And there you can, I can't do focusy things when the magnifier's on, but you can see the end of the sack and the spring in there. I can do a macro photography with the camera that ran out of batteries there. If I uncap it, because it was the nib I actually wanted to look at. Well, let's see how we do here. So I'm pretty sure it's a steel nib, which is fine. I mean, I'm no... So hardest iridium pointed pen. Doesn't give a size. Little heart-shaped breather hole. And yeah. So I may need to do a little smoothing on it, but I'm going to be careful. I'm probably going to practice smoothing on other pens, because that's not something I've ever done before. So jet pens, chibis, better watch out. So more old-fashioned kind of feed, which is nice. The clip has nothing. Oh, now you can see my fingerprints. Has nothing helpful written on it. So I don't know who the Craftsman is, but very interesting. Now I wanted to just quick show you this Schaeffer. This red striated finish, and if I remember right, it's a celluloid. Just so attractive. On the barrel, or I'm sorry, on the cap, the only place it's labeled is the clip. But on the barrel, it is labeled W.A. Sheaffer Pen Company, Fort Madison, Iowa, USA. Patented in the USA. Oh, so it's a 350. I didn't see that. Yeah, I do not see it without that magnifier. That is cool. Okay, if I get it at the right angle, I do. That's cool. That gave me huge direction. I think I have the wrong name figured out. I was guessing from photographs what it was, so yeah. And it's a lever filler. Let's see if the ink window shows up at all. But you can see, I don't know if somebody used a shiny ink in it or what, but it's all over here, and I even with scrubbing, I couldn't get it off. And it coated the nib. I had to, don't tell anybody, but I had a little polishing pad I used on the nib just a little bit. You can see it on the sides there. A little bit I didn't get off because I was trying to go as lightly as I could. But if that means anything to anybody, a number 3 nib. But that 350 tells me a lot because I can Google that. And you can just see a hint of the ink window right below the threads there. But again, that whatever it is that was all over the pen, I just can't get it off without my fear of damaging it. Now, I also said I wanted to show you in this Picasso, this emblem. So on the barrel, there we go. That's the emblem. It sort of looks Picasso-y. Is Picasso-y a word? And then when you look at the grip section has Picasso, which I imagine that's his signature. I couldn't tell you. And then when you look at the nib, that's sort of a Picasso-looking thingy in the gold square there. Picasso 22 karat gold plate, because they always tell you how many karat the gold plate is. So anyway, I hope that was interesting. I hope it was useful. And since you can't see my face, we'll just look at my finger. And thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.